Okay, hello again. So I'm back with more of the 90s, or whatever. So, right back into it. A couple of the next things might be really girly, but y'all still, if there's any guys, y'all still might remember this stuff, but not necessarily, like, relating to you specifically. Who remembers hair mascara? Like, it was regular mascara, you know, I mean, like, it came in, like, a regular mascara type tube, but it was, like, blue, or hot pink, or purple, or whatever, and you could, like, take a piece of your hair and just, like, run the, like, mascara wand through your hair, and it would leave your hair kind of this, like, gunky texture, but you would have the color in your hair. I remember that being real popular, maybe late 90s, early 2000s. I remember that was like a big thing. I want to say at one point I had like a tube of like blue hair mascara, but I can't for the life of me think where I bought it or what brand it was. I want to say maybe it was, I want to say maybe, did L'Oreal have like hair mascara? I don't know. Or it might have even been, do y'all remember Fetish makeup, the Fetish line that like Christina Aguilera endorsed, and like it was only at Sears? That was the shit. I remember thinking like, oh, that's what the rich girls buy, because you can only buy it at the mall. You can only get it at Sears. And Christina Aguilera's face was like on the cover of all the, you know, ads or whatever that was like in my 17 magazine. You know, and I just remember thinking, oh my god, it must be so expensive because you have to buy it at the mall. You can't go and buy it at like Walmart. Oh my god, you know. The other thing was the butterfly hair clips, the like multicolored like little like claw butterfly clips that like all the girls would like twist up their hair and like put a clip in, and like they would do that like all over their head. Like I remember that shit so much. Like that was like the like anytime there was like a dance like that was what the girls would do. And like at least like the late 90s or something. You know, maybe the early 2000s, late 90s mostly though. I remember that all the time. Okay, moving on. Who remembers those? And I mean, a lot of these things are kind of like still kind of current. Like you can remember these if you were, you know, born even in like if you were born in like the early 90s or late 80s. Those stretchy, like faux tattoo, like tribal necklaces that were like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, they had the necklaces, and they had the bracelets, and they had the anklets, and I remember that was, like, that was still a pretty big thing when I was, like, a freshman, because I remember I bought a couple on vacation one year, and I had all of them. I had the necklace, the bracelet, the anklet, because I was like, oh, I'm so hardcore. I want to look like I have tattoos. I want to have a big fake one. And that also goes along with my next one of chokers. All the girls had freaking chokers, and I still have a couple from the 90s that I still wear, or I haven't worn in a while, but I totally would if I had the occasion. I remember I had a couple chokers that were velvet, because the 90s was all about the velvet. At least the early to mid 90s. If you were a girl in the early to mid 90s, you had any kind of jewelry, any kind of dresses, pantsuits even, like, shit was like velvet. Like, there was a lot of velvet stuff. There was daisies, there was black fabric with daisies on it. I remember that specifically. Black fabric with like white daisies. But yeah, chokers. Chokers were the thing, and I wore them all the time. I had so many. And I remember a couple years ago I tried on one of them and I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. Like, it feels like it's smothering me. It just felt like so restricted. And I was like, oh my god, how did I do this? I don't know. I don't know if I could still do that or not. Okay, next, American Girl dolls. I remember that was another thing that was a catalog, like Delia's catalog. I used to get American Girl doll catalogs delivered to my house all the time. Did I ever have an American Girl doll? No. Did I want one? Yes, I did. But my parents weren't going to spend $120 on a doll, even if it looked like me and have brown hair and blue eyes. That wasn't going to happen. I wanted, I remember I had it all broken down. I had the prices for everything. I had which outfits I wanted, which bedroom set I wanted, which books I wanted, which matching clothing I wanted for myself. I remember I wanted Samantha, and I wanted her little party pinafore get up. I wanted her bedroom set. I wanted Molly's Christmas dress. I wanted Felicity's, and these are the old school dolls. Some of these that I'm talking about might not even exist anymore. I know they got rid of a bunch of them. I want Felicity's like party outfit, which was this really pretty like blue Civil War dress or something, and then it had like this like different colored piece right here that you could like swap out for a different piece. I liked Kirsten's like meet Kirsten outfit, and like her school outfit and all that stuff. And what was it? Oh, Addie. She had a gorgeous Christmas dress that was like a tartan kind of fabric, and that was just so pretty, and I wanted that one too. And I remember wanting like all these dolls, and like, you know, but my parents would never buy them. I had like a million Barbie dolls though, but I never had like a really expensive American Girl doll, and I'm still like, kind of bitter about that. So what else? Okay, I remember, does anybody remember Superman ice cream from their, I remember this from my childhood. I'm pretty sure this is still a thing, but it was like pink ice cream, blue ice cream, and yellow ice cream, and I want to say it was like bubblegum flavored or something. I don't really specifically remember. I don't even know if Superman ice cream was the technical name of it, but that's what I called it. We would always get it every time we went shopping at Kmart, because this was back when my hometown had a Kmart, number one, and Kmart still had food courts, number two. Kmart's used to have a little tiny like cafe food court area, like Target still has. Walmart used to have them too, before they got rid of them, but you know, now Walmart's have like Burger Kings and Subways and McDonald's, but all these shopping, you know, stores used to have food courts because, I mean, back in the 50s they had them too. That's how it was. They wanted women, men, families, whoever, to come and literally spend a day shopping and not leave. So they would put in food courts in all these places. I mean, IKEA does it. IKEA has a fucking restaurant, and can you blame them? That store is massive. I mean, and their food isn't horrible. You know, I mean, it's not like, hey, let's make a day out of it, let's go eat at IKEA. But I mean, you know, it does what it needs to do. If you're hungry, you can eat a little something and then go check out the couch you want to look at or something, you know. So yeah, that was just one of those things. I remember specifically going shopping with my mom at different stores and getting, like, you know, a little bag of popcorn or an icy or, you know, Superman ice cream, stuff like that. I just remember things like that from my childhood too. Okay, and then the next two things are kind of 80s, actually. They might be early 90s, but they're mostly 80s from what I know. So, Lady Lovely Locks. I remember this cartoon, and I remember it being so pretty, and I got reminded of it again maybe a couple years ago when I was looking through cosplay costumes, and I found somebody who'd cosplayed as Lady Lovely Locks, and I lost my shit. Because I was like, oh my god, I want to do that. I want to be her. Because she had the prettiest dress, she had the prettiest hair, she had like those little flying like fairy things with like the long fur on their butt, or the long tail or whatever, and they would like, you could like clip them into her hair. I think I had like a Lady Lovely Locks doll. I know I had a Lady Lovely Locks coloring book that you could like trace and stuff in there. I remember it being so pretty and so, ethereal and like mythical and wonderful, you know what I mean? It was more like on the lines of, you know, Strawberry Shortcake or Rainbow Brite. Fuck, Rainbow Brite. I totally forgot about Rainbow Brite. Oh. See, Strawberry Shortcake was okay, I watched it, but Rainbow Brite was my fucking jam. I miss Rainbow Brite. Both me and my brother had, you know, action figures and stuffed animals from Rainbow Brite, because he had all the, like, mean, evil people, and I had, like, Rainbow Brite and, like, her posse. And, we would, you know, we would have, like, fights and stuff with our stuffed animals. But, Lady Lovelocks was just so pretty. She was, I think she was, like, a princess, and she had, like, her court of, like, maidens who were her friends, and they pretty much looked the same as she did, but they had different colors. Like, I think she had a friend that had, like, blue, like, a really pretty blue dress or something, and then, like, another one that had, like, yellow. I don't remember. There was another cartoon about a dog, and I want to say the dog kind of reminded me of, like, the Budweiser dog. Budweiser used to have a spokesdog, mascot. Not unlike Slurms McKenzie from Futurama, but his name was, fuck, I don't remember. Yeah, it was something McKenzie. But Budweiser or Bud Light, one of the two, had a freaking dog as their mascot in like the late 80s, early 90s, I think. Anywho, this dog reminded me of this cartoon called Rude Dog. Rude Dog. Okay, it was a dog that drove a hot pink convertible Cadillac around with all of his dog friends, and they had like a garage, like Rude Dog's garage, and like he worked on cars, and like I want to say there was a lot of neon colors. Rude Dog himself was like pink, like he was a white dog, but I want to say he had like some kind of like eye thing around his eye where it was like lime green and like hot pink or something, or I don't know if I'm thinking of the right thing, but he had like his weird little dog posse, and each dog had some kind of like they were totally normal, but like they had like a weird kind of like, either one was like a hunchback or like one was like kind of gimpy or something. I don't really remember, but like yeah, that's a good cartoon. Just a dog and all of his gimpy friends. But I remember that, you know, I'm remembering this from a child's memory, so don't get mad at me if I say something wrong, because this is what I remember from me when I was like 3 or 4, okay? Like, I haven't really fully researched these things. I'm just reminiscing and trying to remember my childhood through these memories, so don't get all uppity if I say something wrong, okay? Sorry, but it is what it is. Okay, and then the last thing I want to talk about before my camera dies on me again, because my battery sucks. Muppets. Anything Muppets. Muppet Babies, Muppet movies, whatever. I remember, there's only been 2 famous people that I've cried about when they died. One was Jim Henson, and the other one was Shirley Temple. When I found out Shirley Temple died, I cried. And when Jim Henson died of cancer, I believe, in like 91, I cried pretty hard. Because I was obsessed with Muppets. I remember being a small child and watching a documentary on Jim Henson on like PBS and just being like enthralled in this. Like, I was so into it. And, you know, watching like the behind the scenes on the Muppet movie, you know, like, what? But the show The Muppet Babies, specifically, I freaking love, what the hell? I keep hearing stuff. I freaking love The Muppet Babies. Loved The Muppet Babies so hard. Like, it was, you know, I want to say I kind of remember the theme song, but I don't think I do. You know, I keep thinking of like the melody, but then I just keep singing in my head that song from Grease or whatever. You know, they go together like, you know, shamalama, whatever. But I mean, I swear to God, the theme song kind of sounded like that. You know, I remember the whole opening with like baby Miss Piggy on like a, rocking horse or something, you know. And I was obsessed with Miss Piggy when I was little. Miss Piggy was the shit. Oh, what else? 17 magazine. 17 magazine was huge for me in the late 90s and early 2000s, right around Y2K, because I had a subscription for like a year in like 8th grade, and I was obsessed with 17 magazine. And it was right around the time that everything was like silver and Y2K was coming, so everything kind of had like a shiny like robot thing about it. And I remember I got I got an issue that was 17 prom. You know, 17 magazine does like a prom issue every year. And these dresses had me mesmerized. I mean, they were the big ball gowns, because that was popular at the time. And I mean, even to this day, because of that like specific fucking magazine, I want everything to be ball gown. Or, you know, like every dress to be like fucking ball gown. Or I'm just not gonna be happy. Everything had like a metallic sheen to it, and everything kind of had like glitter covering it, and everything was like frosted. All the makeup ads were like that too. Everything was kind of like frosted looking and kind of metallic and silvery, because I remember silver being huge around, you know, Y2K in the year 2000 and all that stuff, because, you know, it was just, oh, and that's another thing, Y2K, everybody was shitting their pants. Oh my god, we all thought that the world was gonna end. We thought planes were gonna drop out of the sky. I'm pretty sure I had relatives who like rearranged travel plans so that they wouldn't be like on a plane on like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, because they thought like planes would stop flying. And I remember that night New Year's Eve, we went to my aunt's house to have like a party, and our fucking parents, all the cousins were in the living room watching like MTV, you know, or whatever, and when midnight came, they fucking decided that it'd be real damn funny to come into the living room and be all quiet and hide behind us and turn off the fucking lights. Like, hey, it's midnight, by the way, the power went out and we're all going to die. They thought that this was a great idea. So the fucking parents came out, fucking turned off the lights, and decided, hey, joke's on you guys, and we were all just kind of like, are we gonna die? Oh my god, you know, I mean, here we are like, what, like 12, 15, maybe like 16, 17, or something like that, maybe like 14, I don't remember how old all my cousins were, but I mean, we varied in ages from, early teenager to you know, teenager. And so we were all kind of like, the fuck did you, what? You're not funny. Go keep drinking and leave us alone. You know, like, but anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. I guess, did anybody else's parents, like, fuck with them or do anything else, like, to kind of piss them off, like, New Year's Eve? To, like, seriously F with their head? Because, do you remember, like, people were, like, hoarding toilet paper, and, like, there was, like, news reports. I remember watching the news of them, like, following people through, like, stores that were just, like, ravaged, because everybody was like, oh my god, it's the Y2K, we're gonna go hide in a bunker because, the world's gonna end, and we were just like, okay, like, we believed it, but nobody really believed it, you know? But there was a few people who really believed it. So, but anyway, I'm gonna let this go. My camera's about to die. Subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye!